A 13-year-old boy is dead after being shot multiple times in the head Monday night in Philadelphia's West Oak Lane neighborhood. Greetings, fellow Earthlings and viewers across the World Wide Web. This is Tune 215. And right now, we're in the state of Pennsylvania. We're currently in the city of Philadelphia. Today, we're going to take a drive through the West Oak Lane hood here in Northwest Philadelphia. It's about 45 degrees right now. We have cloudy skies. We're now approaching 66 Ave. 66 Ave, the intersection of 16th Street and 66 Ave. Now make note that in Philadelphia, this is one of the very rare occasions where two numbers will collide here in the West Oak Lane neighborhood. Normally, numbers don't cross often here in Philly, but they continue to cross as we travel northbound. West Oak Lane is a neighborhood in northwestern Philadelphia. The neighborhood was developed primarily between the early 1920s and the late 1930s, with the areas near Cedar Brook constructed after World War II. As you can see, a lot of the homes look uniform, two-story flat-top homes, brownstones. And then the first floor looks like it has a variety of other stones. What's the technical term for the other stone? Is it limestone? Let's make this right on Orland Street. This is a small block. So although it was a predominantly Caucasian neighborhood from its inception until the mid-1960s, West Oak Lane is now one of Philadelphia's middle-class African-American communities. The neighborhood is known throughout the city for its jazz festival. The West Oak Lane Jazz Festival has been held in mid-June since 2003. Artists such as Chaka Khan, Tina Marie, Jeffrey Osborne, and Chrisette Michelle have performed at the West Oak Lane Jazz Festival. All right, we're coming off of the 1500 block of Orland. Let's make this left-hand turn. So we have a vehicle in front of us making a left into their driveway. These blocks have front parking, and then they also have parking adjacent to their property, right behind their property. They have garages. That one right there on our right has a garage on the side. So you see that the porches are elevated. There's two sets of staircases that take them up to their front door. Some porches are open, some porches are closed. I also noticed that this block has not only brownstones, but it has vinyl siding on the second floor. And then you see the shingle rooftops, which are more of an apex style. The front facade, or the facade, which is the front skeletal structure of the building. So this neighborhood has distinct architecture that separates it from its surrounding neighborhoods, along with larger and sometimes detached houses. West Oak Lane also has many tree-lined streets and small yards. Now, you have West Oak Lane, and then right next to West Oak Lane, you have East Oak Lane. Personally, visually, I think East Oak Lane is more appealing. They have cooler looking houses, but this is a nice area also. If you haven't checked out either of my previous West and East Oak Lane tours, make sure to explore my channel. I have covered these neighborhoods plenty of times before, and I will be doing an updated East Oak Lane tour, which will show the ginormous houses that they have just across Broad Street, not far from here, about 2, 3, 4 minutes across from here. East Oak Lane is beautiful. We're passing Sydenham, but then I heard the GPS yesterday say Sydenham. We passed a nice, see that? That was a Impala? Yeah, Chevy Impala, that was nice. We're at 15th and 67th Ave. Let's make this left-hand turn. If we go forward about another block to that stop sign, it's gonna take us to Broad Street. Broad Street sits on 14th Street. Now, shout out to the viewer that taught me something new. What's the 14th letter of the alphabet? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. N. So how I always tell you guys, Philadelphia doesn't have a 14th Street. We have a Broad Street. Broad Street was made in 14th Street. Well, that viewer made it known that we don't have an N Street either. Castor, I believe, Castor Avenue is in place of N Street. And I find that intriguing because I never noticed that. It never really occurred to me, being a lifelong resident of Philly, especially passing all those letter streets plenty of times, how we don't have an N Street. It skips it. So what he pointed out was the city decided to replace the 14th letter and the 14th number. Wow. And if you pay attention to numerology, 14 holds significant value. So thank you for pointing that out. That was awesome. All right, we're at 16th and 68th Ave. Let's keep on going westbound. I could go right, but I've covered this area quite a few times. So let's travel more west. Sometimes I'm not able to fully travel west because of the time frame. Hair for Life. There's a little, what looks to be like a little salon barbershop on our left. We have one of these physically disabled vans double parked in the street, probably picking up a passenger. We're at 17th and 68th Ave. You see what I was talking about earlier on in the story? How I said this is one of the only areas where numbers will cross other numbers. And this is one of the only areas where numbers will be an avenue. 68th Ave, 70th Ave. Because normally it's like 2nd Street, 3rd Street, 4th Street, 6th Street, 5th Street, 13th Street, 15th Street. But here it's Aves. We're passing Bouvier. So in the year 2005, the zip code 19138, houses, the home median value was estimated at $113,200. That was in 2005. We're in 2022, of course, so that could have increased dramatically. We're at 18th and 68th Ave. Now we're traveling southbound. Now check out this block. You see how there's more color? You see how the second floors have a little bit more color? You have the olive greens, the burgundies, the oranges, the baby blues, the pastel colors too, a lot of pastel mint colors. You also see a deeper lawn. You see the deeper lawns? Wow, we have another Impala right here. Wow. I always used to like those growing up. Never owned one. Always wanted to, but never got a chance to get one. There's another Impala over here. Sheesh, the same year, make, model. That must mean that there's a huge cult Impala following in this neighborhood. It's like, nah. Impalas are nice though. But I like the OG Impalas. 1964 Impala. Cruising down the street in my 6'4". If you know, you know. Easy E. So we're traveling about 7-8 miles an hour. I do have a vehicle behind me, so let me make a right here just to get out of their way. We have Reyes Grocery directly in front of us. We're turning right on 66 Ave. The 1800 block of 66 Ave. We're now approaching Gratz. Let's make another right on Gratz. This is a Main Street, Ron. It's main as in high traffic, high speed. So let me get off of it. I'm trying to take these little side blocks because these side blocks are more forgiving on my low speed choice. So you got many stores nearby that are on Stenton and Ogons Avenue. There's Cheltenham Mall nearby, other things like that, other resources. So in 2013, the demographics based on citydata.com were 42,390 residents living in the area, with a population density of 24,517 people per square mile. The average household income was $41,275. And the average amount of rent paid was $708. There were 18,298 males and 24,626 females. The median age for males was 36.6 years old, and the median age for females was 43 years old. The average household had 2.8 people, and 27.1% of the households were married couple families. 24.7% were single mother households. 26.9% of the residents, 15 and older, had never been married at all. And 6.2% of the people living there were born in a foreign country. So we're going to continue moving forward. We're entering the 6700 block of Gratz Street. So based on areavibes.com, this neighborhood receives an F rating based on crime. The livability, it receives a livability score of 62. Crime is up 15% above the national average. Violent crime is up 73% above the national average. Property crime is up 4% above the national average. Okay, let's make this left-hand turn here. We're approaching Ogons Ave. You have several businesses on each of these corners, from a mini market, Rodriguez Mini Market, to a glass and mirror business, an automotive shop, a used car dealership, and more. We're approaching Wyncote Ave. Now we're approaching Haynes Street. Key findings show that in West Oak Lane, you have a 1 in 38 chance of becoming a victim of crime. Oak Lane is safer than 51% of the cities in Pennsylvania. Okay, we're going to continue moving forward. We have the Hashem Christian Worship Center on our left-hand side. Okay, we're on 19th Street, 6800 block of 19th Street. We have William Rowan Public School on our right-hand side. So cost of living in this neighborhood is rated C. They get a C rating. Overall, the cost is 3% below the national average. I do have a vehicle behind me, ladies and gentlemen, tailing me, so I'm traveling 20 miles an hour just to get out of their way. I do apologize about the speed. We're at 69th Ave, 19th and 69th Ave. There's another block over here on my left-hand side, 69th Ave, that runs down in an angle. Now, the houses, again, on our left changed slightly. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the architecture, the variety of architecture on here. Then they got the terracotta shingles on the rooftops. We have the UPS driver on our right making deliveries. We're at 71st Ave, 19th Street and 71st Ave. I do have this vehicle behind me. I'm going to try to turn on Dallas Street coming up, just to get away from traffic. Housing is 32% below the national average, and goods and services is up 5% above the national average. All right, now we're on Dallas. So let's talk about some crimes that took place recently. As I mentioned earlier in the story, a 13-year-old boy was gunned down, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, he was gunned down in October in this neighborhood. A family pleads after 13-year-old was shot dead in Philly, and they, I believe, rallied to put the guns down. This happened October 13th, 2022, reported by 10. I believe that's NBC 10 Philadelphia. They're the ones who covered the story, but I believe several channels covered the story. We have a cemetery on our right-hand side. We're going to continue moving forward towards Pittville. This is a no outlet on our right, so there's no point for me to go right. On July 15th, 2022, man, 21 years old, charged with first-degree murder for random West Oak Lane shootings that killed 3 men. Wow, 3 men lost their life at the hands of a 21-year-old. Again, there was another shooting on August 11th. There's a $20,000 reward which will be given to anyone who provides information leading to the suspect who is responsible for a 4th of July fatal shooting in West Oak Lane. We're passing Plymouth. We're gonna make this left-hand turn on Elston. Actually, Elston might have been a one-way. I think Elston was a two-way. Some of these streets are two-ways. You just gotta dig deeper and look deeper. We have a gas station on our left-hand side. Gas is going for $3.75 per gallon at Sunoco. The cheapest I found it for was probably, I think yesterday, I think I gassed up for like $3.56. Overall, visually, this is a lot more appealing neighborhood than some of the more rundown areas of Philly. It's a lot cleaner, there's less debris. There's probably little to no abandoned homes. You see very little solicitation of people hanging on corners. In the summer, you will see teens riding bikes, kids out and about, families sitting out front, cooking out, maintaining their properties, just living everyday life. But this is one of the first neighborhoods that you start heading towards Northwest Philadelphia. Check out the houses in front of us. You see the style? It's like a duplex. It's two of them, twin homes, connected by the joint. We're at the intersection of Cheltenham Ave and Pittville Ave.